Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. So it's about 10 to 4, still May 5th, Monday, 18.7 degrees centigrade, which is about 67 Fahrenheit. Got a light on, and if you follow the extension cord, and the noise, you get to the little generator. Noisy little beast, isn't it? Stinky too. So, and you can see the lights off, right? No more light. It's the back side of it, but you can see no light coming out of it. So, yeah, I'm just kind of grinding through the projects one at a time, seeing what I have here. You know, as I look at this Briggs and Stratton generator, I was trying to figure out if it was homemade or a project somebody bought or where it came from. I mean, the rope start engine's got to be, I don't know, from the 60s perhaps? 80, 301, 94, 301. And the bottom number is 60. You guys can't quite see it, but if you get all the way down in there, the bottom number is 60. So this is from probably 1960. The engine was built. I don't know if you guys look that over and say, oh yeah, I've seen something like that from 1960. The spark plug still had the black paint from the engine on it, so I think it was the original spark plug. I don't think this thing has any miles on it. Obviously it generates enough power to light up a light bulb. If one's testing out an alternator, see what kind of shape it's in, my suggestion is if you expect it to produce 120 volts AC, you get one of those kilowatt things. They cost about $20. They tell you the frequency you're running, they tell you the voltage you're running, and once you put a load on it, they tell you how many watts you're putting on it, which is an effective way of, you know, determining what you're up to without blowing things up. This light bulb, I don't know, it's 100 or 150 watts. It's kind of an infrared thing. It helps stay warm during the winter. So the thing produces about 100 watts of something. It didn't seem to strain at all when I plugged it in. I don't know how many horsepower this is. Off the top of my head, I'm going to say 3. Sometimes you can tell by the shaft size. I think, looking at that shaft size, I think I'm going to call it a 3-horse. So that means that engine, it's about 748 watts, I think it is, per horsepower. Let's make it 750 just for an even number, which is 1500, which is 2250 watts if the motor was putting out all it could. The alternator itself is only rated at 1000 watts, and they have a 10 amp fuse in it, so if you pull more than 10 amps it pops the fuse. So that's what they have there. No use pushing it more than that. The engine ran pretty stable. If you turn the choke completely off, it hunted slightly. So I found with the old engines that they seem to behave themselves a little better with just a little bit of choke. Or you run premium, throw a little instead of lead in there, or if you have some lead additive, throw some of that in there. It makes the engines run better. So anyway, I've been poking around with the generator, and you can see I got it running, which is nice. I got the recoil starter rebuilt and on the bike. That's the original one that was on there. It's rebuilt and back on. This is the rope that they gave me, and the pull handle they gave me. So I just went with everything that kind of came with it. I checked the compression, and that is bled down slightly, but you can see it's about 120 psi, give or take a foot and a half. So I just quickly checked the spark, turn the key on, put it on run, put the wires where I thought they should go, check the spark. I have no spark, and obviously I have to do something with the missing carburetor before I could attempt to spin it up. I might try to do that. I don't know if I'm going to get that done today. I should try to get that done today, and then tomorrow I can focus on this puppy and see where she is. And I think, and then that. So when it comes to gasoline powered objects from the show, 1, 2, 3, 4 so far are running. So we're getting there. Stony, you offered some 200M parts. I'm interested. I think you're just a ride up to Albany there, so that's not too far. I'll be able to take a run up there, unload the Ranger, and take it for a ride. Yeah, I don't know exactly what you have. I don't think I was looking at your video where you say all of your bikes, all of Stoney's bikes, and I didn't notice a 200M in there, unless it was quick, or unless I fell asleep through it. Another possibility, I was distracted doing 3 things at once as usual. So, but once again, I went through that video. I didn't see it. So yeah, if you have some 200M parts, I'm interested. Maybe we can get together next weekend, something like that, to collect those up. I need front wheel, front tire, wheel, hub. So I need that. If you have it, depending what you got for back tires, I mean, we can work out some kind of deal. We'll see what we can come up with. Could use a gas tank too. So there's that. The 200M, I think it's going to be a runner. I'm not ready to say it's not. But now that the recoil starter is back up, for any of you guys who've had to go out and buy a recoil starter, if you're lucky, you can do a buy it now and score them for $50 on eBay. If you're lucky, there's a guy who rebuilds them, and he seems to regularly collect up recoil starters, rebuild them, and put them out again. He's typically somewhere around 150. He always has them up there, so I don't know if it's the same one over and over and over again, or if he's actually redoing them and putting them back out there. So just having the recoil starter back to life is definitely a nice step in the right direction. And I happen to need a recoil starter for, I think it's this one here, that guy. And I have it sitting here waiting to go. I kind of neatened up the parts a little bit, and there were a couple more things stuck in there. I have all in the spare parts he gave me, he included all 3 of the dogs, which is a home run. I got 2 out of the 3 butterflies, I got the spring, and I got the copper friction washer. So all very hard parts to dig up for recoil starters. They're typically the ones that are missing, so I was thrilled with that. Plus I took the rope out of there and put it in the other starter, and he included a handle. So the recoil starter coming back to life once again without having to put anything except labor into it was a good thing. Had a lot of trouble putting the recoil starter back together again. I probably should have made a video showing you why I was having trouble. Turns out where the spring attaches to the case, you know, it kind of slips into that spot. If you do not seat it all the way, when you go to put the plastic part, this part, when you go to settle it in, it will not settle in. And having that not settle in is obviously a problem. So what you have to do is just kind of a hook on the spring. You got to make sure that's settled tight up against the case. If not, the whole thing doesn't go back together again. I fussed around with that for a while until I finally figured it out and got the whole thing put together. So that wasted probably about an hour of my time. So I'm making progress. I told you about the recoil, told you about the compression at 125. I think I've done, yeah, I think I'm done. Oh, one last thing. I did manage to get the Corolla through inspection this morning. It was due in March. Around me, if it's due in March and they kind of catch you the first day or so in April, you know, as long as you don't have a cop fresh out of the academy or one who had his donut poisoned, or you know, somebody didn't spit into his coffee. Normally, the first week of the new month, you'll skate, probably skate, not necessarily skate, but probably. Chances are in your favor that you'll skate. Anyway, it was due in March. It's obviously May, so when I was bringing it in for inspection, I was a little concerned that, you know, I get tagged on the way there, which is a friend of mine got hit with a $250 ticket. I think I've already mentioned that. So homie don't like $250 tickets, nor the points. And the other thing is, if you're running on a clean license, a lot of times if you got no other tickets, they kind of let you keep going with no other tickets, or if you haven't had a ticket in a long time, they'll kind of let you keep your thing going. But if they see a ticket on there for something, and especially inspections, which I kind of have a little trouble with occasionally, you don't want to get caught twice on that thing. You guys remember this green light? Well, you didn't know it was green, but let me show you something. Turns out, let's do the cold one first. Folks, don't try this at home. It's cold. This is hot. And we have green light. I don't know if you can see it as green or you see it as a mess. Anyway, that one once again is hot. If I disconnect the wire to neutral and touch it to the case, you listen closely, and you see the lights on. I just triggered the GFI, reset, plug back in, see, no red light, green back on, and back to triggering it. Bang. See? So I just tested my GFI also. Isn't that a wonderful thing? Okay, folks, been babbling about 14 minutes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. For those of you playing in my contest, thank you for that. Remember, live, love, and have a great time. Keep your feet down, your head up, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Horde. I don't know if I'm going to squeak out another one today or if we're going to hang on. We'll see. Anyway, take care, folks. Bye.